Magandang araw po. Ako po si Brother Reynan. Samahan po ninyo ako sa ating pag-aaral dito sa Life Essentials. Ang New Testament ay nagsisimula sa Book of Matthew, sinundan naman ito ng books of Mark, Luke, and John, at ang apat na libro ito ay tinatawag na The Gospels, na naghahayag ng buhay, kamatayan, at muling pagkabuhay ni Jesus. Sinundan naman ito ng Book of Acts, at ang main character dito ay walang iba kundi si Paul o Pablo, na siyang ating pag-aaralan ngayon. Ang pamagat ng ating pag-aaralan ay Paul, persecutor to preacher. Tignan po natin ang hapyaw, ang kanyang background, ang kanyang ministry, at ang kanyang apostleship. Unos po, sinong ama si Pablo? Philippians chapter 3 verses 4 to 6, binanggit doon ni Pablo, if it were right to have such confidence, I could certainly have it. And if any of these men thinks he has grounds for such confidence, I can assure him I have more. Circumcised on the 8th day of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, a Hebrew of the Hebrews, concerning the law, a Pharisee. As to zeal, a persecutor of the church. As to righteousness under the law, blameless. Binanggit ni Apostle Paul dito ang kanyang Jewish heritage, that he was from the tribe of Benjamin. Ang Benjamin ay isa sa mga tribes ng Israel. Si Benjamin din ay anak naman ni Jacob at ni Rachel. Dito rin sa tribe of Benjamin nagmula si King Saul at iba pang mga judges na kumalaban sa kanyang mga kaaway. At ang tribe of Benjamin, isa sa mga distinct dito sa lahi na ito, sa tribo na ito, they remain intact with no mixed marriages from the time of their exile. Binanggit din ni Paul ang Hebrew of the Hebrews. Para sa kanya, he considered himself as a true Hebrew, a pure, legitimate, because he knows the old language. His parents were also Aramaic, and he had a Hebrew education. And because of the zealousness of his parents, when Paul was 8-day-old, they followed the 8-day-old circumcision. Binanggit din ni Paul, sabi niya, as to the law, a Pharisee. Paul was educated, and was educated under Gamaliel, who was the leading Pharisee that day. Pharisees were most careful and faithful Israelites. At dahil sa kanilang zealousness din, naglagay ang mga Pharisees ng phylacteries na nilalagay dito sa kanilang noo at dito sa kanilang mga kamay upang maalala nila ang batas ng Panginoon. And because of their zealousness, they put fence around the law and added additional laws for the people to follow. So aside from the 10 Commandments, they also added 613 mitzvahs law. And these mitzvahs deal with every aspect of how one should go about living his life as an Israelite. Sinabi ni Pablo, as for zeal, persecuting the church. His zeal to eliminate early Christians was apparently from his deep devotion to the law. Sa katunayan, si Paul ang witness sa pagkakapaslang kay Stephen the martyr. Sabi ni Stephen, the new has come, therefore the old must go. At sabi naman ni Paul, para sa kanya, the old must stay, therefore the new must go. Kung titignan natin ang buhay ni Pablo, sasabi natin na, wow, nasa kanya na yata ang lahat ng magandang qualifications ng isang tagasunod ni Kristo. Pero later in his life, Paul said that I do not consider my life dear unto myself, so that I could attain Christ. And because I want to know Him and the power of His resurrection. Kung ganito rin ang Ipanalangin katulad ni Pablo to know Christ more and more in our lives. Sunod po natin tignan ang citizenship ni Pablo. Acts chapter 22 verse 3, Paul gives a bit more information about his background. He said, I am a Jew, born at Tarsus in Cilicia, but brought up in the city of Jerusalem at the feet of Gamaliel, educated according to the strict manner of the law of our fathers, being zealous to God as you are all this day. So Paul was born in Tarsus, and Tarsus was the capital city of the Roman province, Cilicia, that day. Therefore, he was a Roman citizen. As to lineage, he came from the tribe of Benjamin, having both parents as Israelites. Therefore, he was of a Jewish line. Apparently, Paul has a dual citizenship. Acts chapter 22, verse 27 and 29, the commander went to Paul and asked, Tell me, are you a Roman citizen? Yes, I am, he answered. Those who were about to interrogate him withdrew immediately. The commander himself was alarmed when he realized that he had put Paul, a Roman citizen, in chains. So nakita natin yung Jewish heritage ni Pablo, ang kanyang citizenship, ngayon, ang kanyang conversion. Acts chapter 9, verses 1 to 16. Meanwhile, Saul was uttering threats with every breath and was eager to kill the Lord's followers. So he went to the high priest. He requested letters addressed to the synagogues in Damascus, asking for their cooperation in the arrest of any followers of the way he found them. He wanted to bring them, both men and women, back to Jerusalem in chains. As he was approaching Damascus on his mission, a light from heaven suddenly shone down around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? Who are you, Lord? Saul asked. And the voice replied, I am Jesus, the one you are persecuting. Now get up and go into the city, and you will be told what you must do. The men with Saul stood speechless, for they heard the sound of someone's voice, but saw no one. Saul picked himself up off the ground, but when he opened his eyes, he was blind. So his companions led him by the hand to Damascus. He remained there blind for 3 days and did not eat or drink. Now there was a believer in Damascus named Ananias. The Lord spoke to him in a vision, calling, Ananias. Yes, Lord, he replied. The Lord said, Go over the straight street to the house of Judas. When you get there, ask for a man from Tarsus named Saul. He is praying to me right now. I have shown him a vision of a man named Ananias coming in and laying hands on him so he can see again. But Lord, exclaimed Ananias, I've heard many people talk about the terrible things this man has done to the believers. And he is authorized by the leading priest to arrest everyone who calls upon your name. But the Lord said, Go, for Saul is my chosen instrument to take my message to the Gentiles and to kings, as well as to the people of Israel. And I will show him how much he must suffer for my name's sake. So makita natin that God chose Paul. Acts chapter 9 verse 15 said, But the Lord said to Ananias, Go, this man is my chosen instrument. Pinili ng Panginoon si Paul. So God converted Paul from law to grace, from being a master of law, a knowledgeable of law, to the grace of Christ, from religion to Christ, from Judaism to Christ, and from grace-centered person to people-centered person. That's why he was ministering to the Jews, to the Gentiles. And God commissioned Paul, you see here, God said to Ananias to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and their kings to the people of Israel. Lastly, tignan po natin ang Paul's apostleship. Ang pagiging apostol ni Pablo ay hindi sa kanyang sariling kagustuhan, hindi sa kagustuhan ng ibang tao, but his calling is from God. Independent calling. Calling was from God and not from men. He also said sa Galatians, in the book of Galatians, he said the same gospel he received from God was the one he preached to the people. Kaakibat ng apostleship ni Pablo is to carry the torch of the gospel to every Gentile nation, to preach the gospel to every nation. At sa bawat sulat ni Pablo sa mga churches, pinapakilala niya na siya ay isang apostle of Jesus Christ. Romans 1:1, he said, called to be an apostle. Romans 11:13, he said, I am apostle to the Gentiles. 2 Corinthians 1:1, he said, apostle of Jesus Christ. 1 Corinthians 15:9, he said, this is the list of the apostles. Ephesians 1:1, he said, apostle of the will of God. In Titus 1:1, he said, I am a bondservant of Christ and an apostle. Ano po matutunan natin sa buhay ni Paul? Unang-una po, no one is outside of God's reach. Nakita natin si Paul from being a persecutor, God called him to be a preacher. Second, our achievements do not define us. Nakita natin ang background ni Paul. He was the most qualified believer, apostle. Pero later in life, he said, I consider myself not as worthy compared to Christ. Thirdly, God can use anyone. Kaya po kapatid, kung nag-aalala ka na hindi ka magagamit ng Panginoon sa anumang larangan ng ministry, God has something for you. Lastly, Paul engaged his life for God, for others, and for the gospel of Jesus Christ. Maraming salamat po muli sa inyong pagsali sa akin, sa tunghay natin sa life ni Paul, at sana po may natutunan po. Maraming salamat po, at sana po makita-kita po tayo sana muli dito lamang sa Life Essentials.